So certainly some of the people like Google and Apple have different tools available to them, but I don't really see it as a battle against the two. I think that there is a lot of ad inventory out there from the likes of Google, Yahoo, and so forth that can be utilized on the mobile phone. So I think it's really a continuation of what the likes of Google can do, because although the number of smartphones are increasing, it's still around 20%. So it still leaves about 80% of all of the phones available that the operators can capitalize. Again, in conjunction, I think they can also take advantage on the smartphones. So for overused example is location. But beyond location, whether it's cell ID, which tells people approximate location, a lot of things related to relevancy, whether the phone's on or off, a lot of information that the operator has about a subscriber at that moment or from past history, whether it's mobile browsing or whether it's purchase of ringtones, wallpapers, all things that will help the advertiser to look and have a more targeted ad. But I really don't, I see a lot of press about the battle between Google and the operators and so forth. But I believe, at least, working together, they can both capitalize on it. So what we see in the States, at least, in WAP and search, with the operators, it's actually a very good business for them. On the messaging side, we're seeing some things happening, and some of them are permission-based, but many of them are off-portal. I mean, we see reports that show messaging for sponsored messaging is actually very high and equal to WAP and search, divided by 3. So 33% messaging, 33% search, and 33% display. And over time, WAP and search take over in the United States. But actually in Latin America, we're seeing a lot of activity around the operators. Some, again, off-portal, where they're doing it, they're bypassing the operator, maybe buying bulk messaging. Other times they're doing it in conjunction with the mobile operator. But at least as part of my job is to engage the mobile operators in Latin America and the United States. I'm seeing a lot of activity. And
our primary communication is built around the message of the mobile tsunami is here. And as the wave has hit the shore with large video files virally downloaded across networks across the world, particularly mobile networks, it takes a unique solution to be able to handle that in order to manage both the network congestion cost effectively, as well as provide a good user experience. The theme I always tell people is not all data bytes are created equal. To be context aware, which is the key value proposition of our platform, means you need to know what device somebody's on, what content plan they have, what network access do they have. Do they have GSM, GPS in certain areas versus WiMAX, as well as what kind of web services, which is something new for us, that they're looking to access, because these services behave very different from our traditional voice services. So being context aware is critical. So you're absolutely right. I don't want to compress a Facebook session that would hurt a user experience, but I do need to compress a high motion video session that would use significant amount of data and therefore create a significant cost on the network as well as to the consumer.
So we're very much in the camp of putting the end user in charge. They should be able to pick a plan that suits their needs and at the same time balanced with the capacity cost of the network. So we think that there should be a fair play kind of approach where customers should pay for what they use, but you can't make it too complicated. So it needs to be, a set of plans that allow different market segments to buy differently. So I don't think that the idea of just unlimited bandwidth forever is the right answer. I mean, that's a lot of money. Losing control to your customers is never the wrong thing to do. Never. So putting the customer in charge always will benefit whoever's providing the service, in my strong opinion, as you can say. So if the user trusts the supplier and the distribution channel to safeguard their privacy information correctly, to give them not a barrage of ads, but rather the ads in the quantities that they want to see and when they want to see them, and the technology they want to see them with. If we can do that, the customers will be happier. And the important point is, so will the advertiser. So it's well proven that advertisers will pay more money for a well-spotted ad where you have, especially the opportunity for interaction back. So that's a much more valuable ad. So the more you know about the advertiser you're trying to reach, the more effective the ad's going to be. And this makes everybody happy. And I think the carriers can, in fact, be a trusted provider of that distribution channel, protecting the privacy and the context of the call, while at the same time work with the advertising community to have a set of ads that are more relevant and more real time.
Cision, como líder en mensajería mundial, estamos mostrando una solución de mobile broadband para la optimización y para la compresión de esos servicios para el usuario final y a su misma vez la tarificación y monetización de esas aplicaciones, la cual reduce alrededor de un 35% de ese backhaul, de ese core network en la red y incrementa los revenues y por supuesto al mismo tiempo pues minimiza el costo de gigabyte por usuario. Pues existen, por supuesto, en los próximos 3 años existen una serie de métricas y de estadísticas las cuales pues vamos a tener alrededor de 300 millones de dispositivos inteligentes en la industria, lo cual pues se espera que mundialmente, en lo que es no solamente América Latina, lo que es mundialmente, en mobile broadband las operadoras produzcan entre 3 y 5 años alrededor de 160 billones de dólares en esta industria. Con la introducción de nuevos dispositivos, la introducción de nuevos teléfonos celulares y de teléfonos inteligentes, pues por supuesto el usuario final va a demandar más de esos servicios y la personalización de aplicaciones para tirar de esos datos en cualquier momento o en cualquier lugar. Pues por supuesto todo lo que es ahora mismo el email y SMS pues son aplicaciones las cuales son los killer applications, los cuales son ya llevamos muchos años en la industria con eso. Lo que tenemos es un nicho, el nicho de enterprise también que está teniendo, o de corporativo, que están saliendo con muchas aplicaciones como notificaciones, alarmas, sobre todo en el sector de sanidad, en el sector del gobierno, de educación.
It's a great opportunity for the market in general. You know, one of the things that we see is enterprises being able to reach their consumer and utilizing the technology of messaging to do that, to apply, you know, information, alerting type of capabilities. So short codes is one of the vehicles that we could use to do that. So Cineverse has been working over the last several months with CTIA and has been proactively working with both Telefónica and América Móvil in the market in general to really see how we can maximize, you know, the short codes, and working with them and in partnering with our enterprises to go after and start, you know, more aggressively marketing, you know, the short code opportunities in Latin America. The messaging market in Latin America is exploding. If you look at Mexico as an example, we have about 90% of the messaging traffic there, and you know, one of the things we want to do is to see how do we leverage that technology again to get to that end consumer, and it's a win for, you know, the operators, and it's a win from an enterprise perspective to do another form of, you know, direct messaging and advertising to the consumer base. I think, you know, there's the cooperation term that's used a lot, right? So clearly what we see is that messaging becomes an ecosystem in which, you know, you'll have different operators that in you know, one realm actually, you know, compete for the consumer, but at the same time they have to collaborate with the ecosystem to make sure that the end consumer wins at the end. From a messaging perspective, that message gets from an end-to-end perspective. We were able to you know, work in conjunction with CTI, who really led this, to participate from a technology perspective and offer our services from that perspective. But really, CTI was the one that you know, brought those two you know, giants to the table here, and they did a great job.